Yo, what is good, Quantum fam? Dallas gathering in the house. We got the meeting coming up this Saturday at my crib in Prosper on the McKinney border, whatever the case may be. The address is in the group. That's going to be from 10 to 1. And in preparation, I wanted to go over a few concepts on the energy centers this is just like the rocket ship textbook, Becoming Supernatural by our boy, Dr. Joe Dispenza. And this is just really, really powerful content. On the way, I assume most of us have read this book, so a lot of this is by way of a review, but when we were having our meditation at Dave's last week, we went over the energy centers and we kind of just pointed out what each one of them, where each one of them was. But there's a little bit more to it than that. And I think I can now, after being through this a couple times, I think I can encapsulate this into a kind of condensed, productive version that we can make reference for. Now, again, this is not my material, all bibliographical sourcing to Joe Dispenza out of Becoming Supernatural. Coming home from Missouri this weekend, took the family to Branson, Missouri for a couple days, and coming home, I just gorged on this in Audible once again, and kind of just these concepts were brought to life one more time. I mean, I don't know about y'all, but for me, I gotta read, it's something this important, I gotta read it 3-4 times or listen to it in the gym on Audible, something like that, right? So the energy centers as they are, right? And you know what? This is what happens, by the way, when you highlight a Joe Dispenza book, Like the highlighter is basically useless. All you do is you wind up with a yellow page instead of a white one. So I don't know how that helps, but I grab a highlighter and then I keep forgetting. This is a futile exercise. If anybody has a tip, maybe different color highlighters, like this is fire. Oh, this is fire. This is real fire. I don't know. But the energy centers. Okay, so while we're meditating and he calls out these numbers that correlate to the energy centers, the chakras, as the ancients had them, this is just such wisdom. As he calls out these numbers, these are specific places on the body that have a very, very, very specific function and meaning. And one of the things that really stuck out to me this time through the chapter, which is chapter 3 in Becoming Supernatural. What really stuck out to me was the fact that the particle and the wave are important. So the physical body, the particle, and the wave are important. Often, like, I'm all consumed with the wave, getting into 5D, getting into the quantum. But really, if we're not grounded in the 3D, in the physical body, then it's not as powerful. We want to really know what each one of these energy centers is in 3D to a high degree. So when Joe Dispenza says 1, for example, we know it's not just the perineum, but it's also the sexual organs and everything else around that. And we can start to picture those organs and their functions, right? And then he says, go to this. Now you want the space in front of one and the space behind one. Now you're getting the particle. And when you are, when you're envisioning, when you're noticing that space in nothingness, in front and behind, now you're getting that wave into the particle. And that was just like an aha moment for me. It really clicked. So what these energy centers are in review right here, if you can see that picture right there. If you can see that picture. Number 1 is covers the perineum, the sexual glands. And number 1, if you are in number 1 functioning correctly, in a healthy way, in number 1, you're going to have a tremendous amount of creative energy that exists in this first center released. I mean, think about the amount of creativity it takes, he points out, to like make a baby. So a ton of creative energy. And as an artist, that is just hugely important to me. Also, production, reproduction, procreation, elimination, sexuality, sexual identity, the regulation of estrogen and testosterone in women and men in this center right here. So all that is going to be functioning at a high level if one, like you said, one, you think about it, not one, if you're good in one, then all that's going to be, if that's imbalanced, your creative energy is going to flow easily and you're going to be grounded in your sexual identity. So two is the second energy center is behind and slightly below your navel, governs the ovaries, uterus, colon, pancreas, and lower back. Has to do with the consumption, digestion, elimination, and the breaking down of food into energy, including digestive enzymes, regulation of blood sugar levels, and so on. This center is just extremely important for social networks and structures, relationships, support systems, family, cultures, and interpersonal relationship. It is the center for holding on and letting go, consuming or eliminating. This is the center where we would apply the idiom, trust your gut. This is where it would be like, hey, is that dude cool or is he not cool? I don't know, trust your gut. Get a feel of him, right? When this center is in balance, you will feel safe and secure in your environment and in the world. All right, so the third energy center, and energy centers 1 through 3, as he points out, have to do with kind of like, the more physical elements connected to the evolution of a human being in survival mode, things like that. So energy tends to get stuck emotionally in 1, 2, and 3. Something to keep in mind. There's a video on his site that actually a package deal where we can get 1, 2, and 3. I'm gonna have that uploaded to the group chat so that we can all do those. Those are very important for releasing trapped emotions. 1, 2, and 3. Anyway, the third energy center is located in the pit of your gut. It governs the stomach, small intestine, spleen, liver, gallbladder, and adrenal glands, and the kidneys. So this is also associated with adrenaline and cortisol. It's a very, they're all really important. What am I talking about? This center is associated with our will, power, self-importance, control, drive, aggression, dominance, all things that we want to have functioning at a high level, but also in check, right? We don't want those things way out of control, which is what will happen if you have emotions trapped in the third center. When this third center is in balance, you will use your will and your drive to overcome your environment and the conditions in your life. So that's three. So you can picture it in your mind. Now we should have 1, 2, and 3. All kind of picture it in our mind, more brought to life, more than just the general location in the body. This is the particle function that God created for these energy centers. So when Joe D says at the same time, now all of those 3 are going to be radiating in that same wave energy that we get from envisioning the space in front of and behind. Powerful stuff, man. This stuff just, man, it's clicking for me right now. So the fourth energy center, and this energy center is just so precious. So precious. It's my favorite energy center right now. It's located in the space behind your breastbone, and it governs the heart, the lungs, and the thymus gland, which is the body's main immunity gland, known as the fountain of youth. The thymus gland. That's fire. The hormones associated with this center include growth hormone and oxytocin. That's real important, along with other things. Read the book. But oxytocin, if we want that mystical experience with that huge elevated levels of oxytocin up here, like by the radial gland in the pineal, if we want that really, if we want fire oxytocin levels, we have to have this center, the center of the heart, flowing. It's also that heart energy centers where we get those emotions of compassion that we directed towards healies in those healing sessions. That's why he has us hold our hands here where the heart energy is coming from, and then pushing them forward. Everyone knows this already. That the heart is definitely going to be by way of review. And so this fourth energy center, as he says, is where we're moving from the first three energy centers, kind of focused on us and our survival. The fourth energy center is moving from being selfish to selfless. This is the center associated with the emotions of love, caring, nurturing, compassion, gratitude, thankfulness, appreciation, kindness, inspiration, selflessness, wholeness, and trust. It is the seat of the soul. When the fourth center is in balance, we care about others, and we want to work in cooperation for the greatest good of the community. We feel a genuine love for life. We feel whole. We feel satisfied. That's 4. That's the precious heart. Synchronizing the heart to a greater energy is my favorite meditation so far. It's just, it just feels so, it feels like you're taking a Valium, but it's not bad for you. It's just absolutely 100% fire. That is 4. Now, the fifth energy center is located in the center of your throat. That's 5. The fifth energy center, it governs the thyroid, parathyroid, salivary glands, and the tissues of your neck. 5, I never really got before I read through this again. 5 is such an important feature for me because I'm personally heavily invested in societal reform. I want to see an elevated society with voluntary transactions that makes the current left-right political divide absolutely obsolete. And 5 is extremely important because all of that love and compassion we felt for others in our heart, 5 is responsible for how we communicate that truth, how we communicate that love. If 5 is functioning well, we're going to be pleased with ourself and life, and we're going to be able to share that gratitude for life and our thoughts and our feelings on how we are going to specifically elevate society to that next level of consciousness. I mean, what are we really doing this for? We're not just doing it for ourselves. We want to boost society. 5 is really important because if we can't communicate the truth, it's going to kind of stay stuck with us. If the energy is flowing in 5, like if you're doing a public speaking event, 5 is hugely important. If you're doing a song or whatever, however you're communicating your truth, whatever medium you're using, if it is oral in any way, shape, or form, 5 is good. And I bet written too. I bet you that applies to written too as well. I'm not the expert. He is. And most of y'all are probably more expert than me, obviously. But the 6th energy center is located in the space between the back of your throat and the back of your head. Kind of like, up in here, somewhere up in that piece. Like here, keep going, stop. That's the 6th energy center. And it governs the pineal gland, the sacred gland, the pineal gland. The Egyptians called it the eye of Horus. Many people call it the third eye. Dispenza calls it the first eye. It is associated with the door to higher dimensions and shifting your perception so that you can see beyond the veil or see reality in a non-linear, non-three-dimensional way. You can see past, you can see future, you can see now at the same time, right? So it's just such a fire gland. I mean, each one of them, right? We say that. When this center is open, it's like a radio antenna, super important, a radio antenna that you can use to tune into higher frequencies above the 5 senses. We all know this. This is where the alchemist in you awakens. And he devotes another chapter to the pineal gland later on in the book. It's also responsible for serotonin and melatonin. You want to feel good? It's the pineal gland, as well as everything else. Responsible for circadian rhythm, When this gland is in balance, your brain works in a clear manner. You are lucid, more conscious of both your inner world and your outer world, seeing and perceiving more each day. Pineal gland, super important. 6. I think we all know that one because of the heavy focus we had on it in the conference. The 7th energy center is located in the center of your head. I think near the top, right? Center near the top. And it includes the pituitary gland. This gland has been called the master gland because it governs and creates harmony in a downward cascade from the center of your brain to the pineal gland and then down. So when this gland is in balance, you're in harmony with all things. So it's the master gland of everything else. So it needs to be in balance. It's like the Professor X of everything like that. If you're an X-Men, this one is Professor X. X-Men, what's up? So 7, very important, as are they all. And then the 8th energy center is super interesting because it is located about 16 inches, above the head. So it's the only energy center that is not associated with any area of the physical body. The Egyptians, interestingly, called it the Ka, and it represents your connection to the cosmos, to the universe, and as a whole. When this center becomes activated, you feel worthy to perceive, to receive. It opens you up to insights, illuminations, epiphanies, aha moments, deep understandings. So if we want that download, we need a great Ka that's working really well. And that's just so important, all of us as earth changers. We want to have that Ka in correct, working, beautiful functionality. So it must be functioning well with energy flowing. And so those are the energy centers right there out of Joe D's Becoming Supernatural. Hopefully this helps us in our meditations by way of review. Do more than just, know where everything is, but kind of have a deeper understanding on the functions. And when we have that, like personally, what I'm doing is when I'm noticing these energy centers, I'm thinking, I'm doing my best to memorize and identify all of the things that I just talked about here in this video before I go out into space, into nothing. I want to have that memorized so that I can picture really the wave kind of just going through it and healing and uplifting and everything like that. I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you on Saturday. Much love.